This is your energy guidance for 2026. Hello there, I go by Lady Casha. And for those of you who don't know me, I am a mystic and also a psychic in the sense that I am clear knowing, clear cognizant, using modalities such as numerology and the tarot to anchor my guidance, but also astrology, human design, and the cards of truth. Alongside my work as a metaphysical guide, I am an artist, and my creative designs can be found at lovebykasha.com. This reading arrives later than usual due to personal family events that required my presence. It has also been a while since I posted anything on this channel. I have been laying very low for quite some time. I've been in a long closing cycle, personally, astrologically, and numerologically, and it has required much of my focus and energy. That doesn't mean I stopped working, only that I haven't been putting energy into promoting myself or being publicly visible. You are welcome to book a reading with me, a general reading or a full numerology reading, which I especially recommend if you never had one, as it is a deep dive into the energies of your being and the trajectory of your entire lifespan. Today I'm looking at the year 2026 mainly through the lens of numerology and the tarot to get a glimpse of the energies for each of the 9 personal years. 2025 was a 9 universal year and 2026 is thus a 1, which will be a kind of collective backdrop, a reboot, a fresh start. But each of us also has our own personal year, which tells the story of where we are in the unfolding of the 9-year cycle. Of course, in our individual numerology, there are other cycles at play at the same time, such as the subcycles, pinnacles, essences, and so on. But knowing your personal year alone can be very helpful as a way of understanding where the energy flows. Before we go into today's reading, just a word about the personal year number, as there are 2 ways of calculating it, either by the turn of the calendar year or by birthday as the moment of change. Both interpretations are valid, but they operate at a slightly different energetic level. The calendar year vibration begins blending into your field as soon as the new year starts. You may feel the next cycle stirring, a shift in tone, new impulses, hints of what's to come. Think of it as the background music changing. Your birthday, however, is when the full charge of the new personal year activates, the true beginning of that cycle. Most people feel an overlap between January and their birthday, like a transition corridor whose length depends on when your birthday falls. It's a threshold period where the old personal year winds down and the new one prepares behind the scenes. To calculate your personal year, you add the day and month of your birth to the current year number. If you have already had your birthday in 2026, you only add the day and month to 2026. If you have not yet had your birthday, you can add it to both 2025 and 2026 to see the overlapping energies. When you have summed up, you add the numbers until you arrive at a single digit. For instance, if you get 48 when adding, you then add 4 and 8, which is 12, and then the 1 and 2 to get a 3. And with that, let's now look at the energies for each personal year for 2026. Personal year 1. The theme for personal year 1 is initiation. It marks the beginning of a new cycle. Energetically, this is the year when a new current enters your life. Not fully formed yet, but undeniable. This is not a year that asks for certainty, it asks for presence. Something wants to begin through you, even if you do not yet know what it will become. Spiritually, year 1 is about reclaiming personal will after a period of completion or release. You may feel a stronger sense of individuality, or a need to separate from what no longer reflects who you are becoming. The task of the year is not to force results, but to respond to the impulse of beginning, gently and consciously, and without rushing the process. The year for someone in one personal year can start with confusion in some area or in a more general sense. You may have many options but not sure of which are the right ones for you. This confusion is not necessarily bad. It can be a sign that you're leaving one territory but have not yet stepped into the new, that your usual ways of orienting yourself no longer feels valid, so you feel a bit lost. But it's a transition phase, and once you make your choices, a lot of creative energy has the potential of becoming available to you. The potential for the entire year is for something new to be born. In order to work with it and make space for it, make it a priority to align in your soul's energy to hear your inner and higher guidance. It looks like in the past you have returned to something which you are now going to be building on. The not knowing can create anxiety and worry, and this is what you will be dealing with to begin with the first 4 months of the year. That does not mean it will be bad, but that you need to overcome your tendency to get anxious and scared when you can't see exactly how the future is going to play out. The antidote is to be present, to be and remain spiritually connected, no matter what, and that can take some practice. Remember that the possible worry you are entertaining are what you may be creating, not necessarily real. If you need to consult someone to get over and beyond it, please do. There can be remaining things to clear out from your 9th personal year, and a tendency to worry could be one of them. You will get over it. Do a good job because the next 4 months look super pleasant. There's joy and contentment. Use the power of blessing and gratitude to make the most of this time period. And then the last 4 months of the year for you will have a sense of completion, of fulfillment. Even though you are only in your first personal year, there will be a sense of definite accomplishment. Throughout the year, you are in a state of transition, where the end and the new beginning overlaps, and even if it's a personal 1 year, your attention is at least occasionally drawn inwardly. Your focus is not on this world, but your inner life. You're getting to know yourself better, and that is somewhat the basis of everything, knowing who you are, not as a mental concept, but energetically. You will also be blessed with a sense of purpose, so your withdrawal is not an escape, but part of your journey towards becoming who you truly are. You are getting ready for what's ahead. At times you may experience a clash with the world around you in the sense that you have a little bit of a different vibe, so to speak, for the moment. It can be asking things of you that you are not ready to match. You know that there's a new adventure ahead of you, although you cannot see it yet. You just have a sense, and you're eager to get going, but you cannot move faster than yourself. So hold your horses and take it one step at a time. Remember again to stay present with your spiritual self, so that you do not override your inner guidance. You are about to create your destiny from a new vantage point, and everything is unfolding just as it should. The outcome of this year is beautiful in an all-rounded way. At the verge of your next year, you're entering an even more prosperous time than before. You could be experiencing both your inner as well as outer wealth, whatever that means specifically for you. Gratitude is continuously to be one of the most efficient tools and to see the magic in everyday life. Throughout the year, let spirituality flow through all areas of your life and take cues from your inner life on how to navigate forward. Overall, to create what your heart and soul desires and have in store for you, first creating inner peace and balance is essential. That is the thread throughout the year that began with having a real challenge, but is also those challenges that catapults you into new dimensions. Personal year 2 is about attunement. In a personal year 2, the energy slows down. What began in year 1 now moves beneath the surface where it can be nurtured and refined. It's a year of sensitivity, of relationship and emotional awareness. You may feel more affected by your environment, by other people, or by subtle shifts in mood and energy. The year teaches patience and trust. Not everything is meant to happen now. Some things are meant to ripen. And the year asks you to listen, to cooperate, and to learn the art of timing rather than pushing forward prematurely. If this personal year 2 is an 11, that's the master current of illumination and an overlay of the year, and means that the sensitivity of the year 2 is heightened dramatically. The 11 is a year of spiritual illumination, intuition, and heightened awareness. Perception becomes sharper, and emotional or psychic sensitivity increases. Spiritually, year 11 is not about doing more, it's about holding more light. You may feel called to stand as a channel, a witness, or a transmitter of insight rather than a mover of events. This year often brings inner awakenings rather than outer achievements. Nervous tension can increase if the energy is resisted or forced into action prematurely. The deeper work of an 11 year is faith, trusting subtle guidance and allowing intuition to lead, even when the path is not yet visible. As the year begins, you seem to be a bit shaken. Whatever has transpired, it is to make way for new doors to open, new chapters to begin, new things entering your life. Maybe you cannot see it just yet, but you can keep that in mind. You have experienced some kind of a wake-up call, even maybe a light bulb moment that is shifting your perspective on things, doing away with fixed ideas and old concepts that are no longer valid or useful. The potential of the year is a new beginning related to anything having to do with love, divine love, not necessarily something romantic, but it could be. In either case, it's about your own journey into higher consciousness and awareness. In order to make space for this year, you're asked to surrender, to accept, to permit, and remain open to opportunities, embracing what is and what comes. In the past, you've already experienced some change of your consciousness, gained more awareness, and made choices about the direction of your life. It's a process and you are firmly rooted in it. The first 4 months of the year is presenting you with a metaphorical gateway through which you can journey away from much of what has been your recent challenges. You will experience some kind of a turning point, and even though the future is still uncertain in the sense that you cannot discern it just yet, you will have a feeling of moving in the right direction. If you need spiritual support, you can find it. The movement and direction that began the first 4 months of the year continues in the following 4. You moving away from what needs to be left behind, but now with a clearer sense of what you are moving towards, even if you cannot see it. You just know that you are on the right track. During this time, it's not about simply moving on from difficulty, but about making an inner, emotional decision to leave behind what no longer belongs to your life, even if it once did. You're turning away from something that has become unfulfilling, simply because it no longer is a part of your soul's life and path. You're looking for something matching who you truly are, the one you are becoming. At times you may feel a bit blue or fatigued, but this is okay. You are in transit and it is demanding. Take time and make space to hear your inner voice, your soul, and your higher mind. The last 4 months of the year, you will be busy, having a lot to deal with, a lot to juggle. The challenge is to do this and at the same time keep a good balance and not feeling burdened. You may need to prioritize and narrow your choices so that you do not drop any balls or spread yourself too thin. There is potential for spiritual development amidst all of this, not in a grand way or by being overly serious, but through taking pleasure in and paying attention to life's ordinary things. Your attitude and approach this year is a focus on practical matters and slow, steady, and tangible progress. You'll have a sharp sense of reality and be at a point in your life where you have a grip on your spiritual awareness, so that instead of reacting to things happening, pleasant or unpleasant, you deal with whatever shows up and evolve. You will have support for your practical and spiritual endeavors, either by somebody or by the energy itself surrounding you throughout this time. You want to create the life of your dreams, the life you are meant to live, and you will, even if it may take some more time to perfect it. You'll seek metaphysical and esoteric knowledge to help you and maybe someone to help and guide you for a part of the journey. The outcome of the year denotes a turning point. There will be a new direction available emerging through synchronicities and unexpected things happening. You understand that there's so much more to life than the external reality. Even if you knew that before, it will be emphasized, and that it's your thoughts and beliefs that create the unfolding of your path is evident. If anything does not look like you want it to look, you can fix it. If you have feelings of disappointment because something hasn't turned out the way you envisioned it or wanted it to, you do best to redirect your focus and see what remains and what you've gained. The story of your life is far from over and you do not have the full picture. Something might have just been a stepping stone taking you to the next level. You do yourself a favor if you look within instead of casting the blame on other people or circumstances. Chances are that there is some mistake you are making in the way you think or some false belief holding you back. Your assignment now is to detect it and fix it. The overall energy of the year is that of escape from difficulties. There's change in the air and a new momentum, so get on with it. Whatever you're looking for, you'll find it. Probably not in full this year, but you are moving in the right direction. You are stepping into who you truly are, into your full power. If this year carries the master number 11, these themes are amplified, especially around intuition and sensitivity. Personal year 3. A personal year 3 is about expression. It brings movement, circulation, and expression. Energy that has been building internally now wants to be shared. It's a year of creativity, communication, and emotional release, with joy, humor, and play that are not distractions, they are medicine. Spiritually, the 3-year reminds us that expression is a healing force. What is spoken, written, created, or shared can loosen inner tension and restore flow. The invitation of the year is to let life move through you, through words, images, laughter, or sound, without censoring your authenticity. Whatever has shaped you up until now, you have felt, digested, and inwardly processed it so that you step into this year with an emotional baseline that is relatively calm, self-aware, and anchored. You're emotionally steady and grounded. During the year, new questions will arise, not to reopen old wounds, but to give voice to that which is called forth. How are you going to move on from that which you have left behind, is the question. It looks like you have had a difficult situation in the past, that which has led you to the new emotional baseline. It has been painful, but that chapter is really over. The crisis is behind you. The first 4 months of the year, your focus will likely be on work and your spiritual life. You're encouraged to listen extra carefully to your intuition and follow your hunches. You have the energy, the enthusiasm, and drive to create a life aligned with your true nature. But you are not stressed or rushed. Instead, you may even be slowing down that you may more fully enjoy the journey. The second 4 month time period of the year, you know what you're capable of and you understand what needs to be done. You will be having a strong sense of moving in the right direction, that your ideas, your time, and money will be paying off. If not now, later. Success is coming, maybe not as fast as you might wish, but it is on the horizon. The last 4 month time period of 2026 for you is involving a new beginning, a new chapter, the birth of an idea or something of that sort. New things are entering your life and you will be enthusiastic about it, energized. It could be a spiritual rebirth that colors everything. You are broadening your horizons and creating a new foundation for yourself from which your life will take off. You are in a process of awakening, which is not something happening as a one-time event, but an ongoing experience and process. You have the ability to transform yourself and create a life in alignment with who you truly are. You will be visible, illuminated, and affirmed. Truth will be exposed, and your presence will be seen. Energetically, the world will mirror back your essence, inviting your expression through natural radiance rather than having to put out much effort. You may fear, though, what this process of you stepping more fully into your soul's power and immersing yourself in your soul's path will mean for the life you have. You may fear that it will create conflict, but it doesn't have to. You do not need to battle for who you are becoming. You simply need to accept it yourself and let that which does not resonate fall away. Towards the end of the year, you may feel a bit exhausted. Your energy may be running a bit low, and you will need to take care of yourself first and foremost. Throughout the year, there may be painful truths to be seen, and you need to look at them and name them without softening or avoidance. Let clarity, honesty, and discernment govern your choices. Feel what must be felt, then rise into mental sovereignty. This is a year to cut through illusion with truth and to lead your life from clear perception rather than emotional entanglement. Overall, the year is one of steadiness and embodied presence. What has been seen, clarified, and released becomes something you can stand on and live from. This is not about striving or proving, but about inhabiting your life with calm authority, patience, and trust in what endures. Personal Year 4. The personal year 4 is about embodiment. In a personal year 4, energy becomes serious, grounded, and practical. This is the year when ideas take form and must take form. Spiritually, the year is about learning how to carry inspiration into physical reality. Structure, routine, and discipline become sacred tools rather than limitations. You may at times feel tested, not because you are failing, but because something real is being built. The work of year 4 is to move slowly, to respect limits, and allow patience to become a form of devotion. If this is a personal year 22, this will be a year of manifestation. When a personal year 4 carries the master number 22, the work of embodiment is amplified. This is the frequency of the master builder, the ability to bring vision into concrete form in service to something larger than the personal self. Spiritually, the 22 year carries great responsibility. The demands of reality may feel heavy, but they exist because the soul has the capacity to meet them. The year tests alignment between vision and execution. Structures built without integrity will not hold. The deeper invitation of a 22 year is to build patiently, humbly, and in cooperation with higher law rather than ego ambition. Entering this year, you may be feeling that you are working hard but not getting the desired results yet. And that is the thing with the 4 energy. Work needs to be done for later satisfaction. You may also be a bit wary of letting go, even of things that are outdated, because of a need for the security the familiar brings. So be aware and try not to cling to anything, especially not that which is holding you back. The act of clinging in itself can also be limiting you and create unnecessary delays. Something new that can lift your spirit is wanting to enter your life this year. If faced with a choice and there is a conflict between the head and the heart, you should probably take the path of the heart. Listen to your soul and your higher mind for guidance. You have recently had some kind of completion and may have had a peak experience in connection to that, which has moved you closer to where you're going and who you are. Maybe you have also glimpsed a deeper meaning and had insight into the purpose to your life's journey that you are now carrying with you as you move forward. The first 4 months of the year, you will be experiencing some kind of confusion or at least a lack of clarity. It could be that you have many options and are uncertain which of them to choose, as you cannot see clearly the pros and cons of each of them. Confusion is not necessarily bad. It is a sign that the old is giving way and that the new has not fully formed yet. There's a lot of creative energy beneath this, and as you get clearer, the more you will have access to it. The mid 4 months time period of the year, you may experience a clash of beliefs, either with someone or something or within yourself. You will need to take time out to connect with your spiritual self to navigate this. The last 4 months, whatever this conflict has been concerning, it will come to a head and it will be most likely to your advantage. As long as you face up to the situation, take a stand and assert yourself in the best way possible. Any challenges you meet with what it takes. Throughout the year, you will feel that you're done with something because it is complete and you're ready to reach for a new dream. You have the drive and energy. Others may be challenging you and the situation may even be intimidating. But it is not as it seems. If you're firm and stand your ground, you will come out on top. Nobody can take what's truly yours. So do not let competitors get in your way. Remember to take time again for your spiritual practice. Do not let anything else consume you so much that you neglect it. It is your foundation. Throughout the year also, you may hope for forward movement, but there's a tension between urgency and structure. The mind wants speed while the year demands discipline. The task is to let sharp thought serve what is being built, not outrun it. The energy of the year and outcome speaks about anything not being true or integrity to no longer be sustainable. There can be some unexpected changes if needed, and what to remember is that it is basically and fundamentally for your higher good, regardless of your emotional reaction to what happens. If you need a wake-up call, you will get one, and new doors will swing open as a result of that. Allow yourself moments of shared joy and support, but do not bypass grief or disappointment. Celebrate what is alive and present then, while consciously releasing what has been lost. The balance lies in honoring sorrow without letting it close your heart to connection. Overall, the year is ultimately held by nourishment, growth, and quiet regeneration. Something is being tended and allowed to mature in its own time. This is about trusting the fertile intelligence of life and letting what is real take root, soften, and grow. Personal Year 5. The theme for Personal Year 5 is liberation. It brings change, movement, and expansion. After the containment of Year 4, life seeks freedom. It's a year of experimentation, of travel, curiosity, and breaking old patterns. Energy may feel restless, unpredictable, or charged with possibility. Spiritually, the Year 5 teaches discernment around freedom. Not all movement is growth, and not all freedom is escape. The task here is to explore change consciously, staying connected to your inner compass as the outer world shifts. As the year begins, you come into it with a feeling of confusion and uncertainty. You may have many options, but could feel muddled and find it difficult to discern the better way forward from the lesser good. Beneath the lack of clarity is an abundance of creative energy waiting to come forth, but you need to make some kind of decision on what to work with and focus on. What can be holding you back throughout the year on and off is a need for security, a holding on to the familiar even though it may not be the best for you, and in fact, on the contrary, rather is holding you back from the fulfillment you want, probably because you are not emotionally ready just yet. You've already chosen to follow a path of your heart, so what is holding you back now is not something major, but expected challenges on the way. The first 4 months of the year will bring a peak experience of some sort. Something you have been striving towards is nearing conclusion. It doesn't mean that whatever goal you have in mind is fully accomplished, but this is definitely a step towards getting there. There's a beginning of a next stage or phase ahead of you, and in reality, the journey never ends, but is the goal in itself. At this point, you may also get a glimpse of a deeper meaning and the purpose of the journey for you individually. The next 4 months will come with a lot of things to juggle while you keep your positive spirit. Make it a focus to keep a good balance between inner and outer, between the spiritual and the material, and beware of spreading yourself too thin. And this will be a constructive and all-round productive time period. The last 4 months you will confront or need to confront that which is within you that is holding you back, which is a bigger part of this year's challenge as mentioned. You may have your reasons, but the truth is those are excuses, projections of fears and your own inhibitions. You may feel like you're stuck, but actually you're not, if you could change perspective and get a new take on things. For some, this may be a biggie, for others less so, having it relate solely to some corner of your life. Your approach to the year is being upbeat and positive, getting on with whatever is before you. Changes will come, and sometimes rapidly. You will be surrounding yourself with things that are in alignment with your spiritual trajectory, things that support you. It could be a person or a group, whatever helps you stay on your path and deepen your commitment to living a spiritual-based life. Your hopes are that you'll come to a place where you will be able to do what you've set out to do, that you will be rewarded for the hard work you've put out. And yes, you have done a great job, but as hinted at, you're not entirely done. When one mountaintop is climbed, there's a next at the horizon. The outcome of the year highlights friendships, partnerships, and a social life. There's a focus on anything related to your heart chakra and involving another or something else. That glimpse of deeper meaning and purpose at the beginning of the year may have created a greater sense of connection and of your place in the all that you will exit the year with and carry forward. A constructive approach throughout the year is to be methodical and practical, to make slow, tangible, and steady progress, not by cutting corners, but by doing the work, one step at a time, whatever the work entails. You should by now be having a grip on your spiritual awareness to the point where you are beyond reacting solely to what is occurring, and instead you keep evolving and growing. Do not be afraid to take steps towards where you're destined this year without knowing exactly what it's going to look like. Know with certainty that you are on your path. Keep using your inner knowing to make sure you're centered and aligned in your soul's energy at all times, and then trust the process and keep going. All in all, this can be a magical year when whatever problem you perceive can be taken care of as if by magic and handled through intuitive awareness. Remember that you do have the ability to create the life you're meant to live. With your thoughts and your focus, you create answers and solutions to anything that challenges you. Personal Year 6. The theme for the year is consecration. In a personal year 6, attention turns toward care, responsibility, and relationship. This is the year when love asks to be lived, not just felt. Spiritually, the year is about harmonizing the inner and outer worlds. And you may be called to tend to family, to home, health, or emotional bonds. This year teaches that service, when aligned, is not self-sacrifice but soul expression. The deeper invitation is to give in ways that nourish both yourself and others. You're coming into 2026 with a sense of moving away from something that has been problematic. Even if the situation or circumstance is not entirely solved yet, you're probably having a feeling that it is moving in the right direction. And even if you do not have that feeling, this energy asks for trust in movement rather than resolution. You are putting things behind you. The year is about healing and opening your heart for new experiences to enter. And whatever you've been pursuing, you've done it by yourself, or at least to a great degree. You felt empowered and on your path and had a sense of inspired determination. So the first 4 months of 2026, you are in a position of strength and fully capable of meeting any challenges that remains. You have the power and the wisdom, the courage and the ability to prevail towards your perceived goals. You may feel that you have put out so much energy already and doubt that you can go the last miles, but you can. You do have it in you. It's probable that you hit some kind of roadblock during these months, but that will not and cannot stop you. Do not quit, just keep going. There's a reward in the other end of this. Where the first part of the year is about endurance, the second phase is about embodiment. The second 4 months of the year, May, June, July, and August, you are building on prior achievements and getting ready to pursue new goals and dreams by evaluating what makes you tick, what you need to feel fulfilled in all aspects of your life, and then go after it with the same energy and intensity that you have accessed in the past. The last 4 months of 2026, you will find that something is clearly over and done with, and it can be experienced as a closure in service of the harmony of the 6th year. You are at the end of a cycle, and you can let any kind of suffering that you've experienced finally go. There can be forced changes and the final resolution of a situation. It could be that you need to give up on a bad cause and get on with the true purpose of your life. Or you have already done that. Whatever the situation you're dealing with, you need to accept the inevitable and move on. Remember that in whatever way this plays out for you, it seems worse than it is. The worst is actually over already. This is the time to clear out the deadwood or whatever you're hanging on to and feeling sad and miserable about. Let it go and move on. The entire year, you have the clear potential and either are or are moving towards coming into your soul's power and accessing your soul's gifts like never before through any ups and downs. You are in a beautiful process of understanding and becoming who you truly are and moving towards fully blossoming. Whatever opposition you are encountering, you have the ability to succeed. Basically, you are in an advantageous position, and all you need is to face up to the situation. Take a stand and assert yourself. You have the wisdom and knowledge and skills necessary. Make your own decisions and rely on your own strength and judgment based on your higher mind's guidance. You hope and expect that things proceed faster and smoother than they may, and it's good to know because the actual pace and progression is not wrong or bad. Things take the time they take, and starting to measure them against a made up ideal almost always backfires. The outcome of the year has the potential of a new way of thinking that can change everything downstream. The energy points towards working on your spiritual development because that is the basis of everything. If you want to change your life, you need to change yourself first, your thinking, your beliefs, your perceptions. You are a powerful thinker, and you probably know this already, but as you move along, things get subtler and subtler, and you can always fine tune. Avoid battling circumstances head on, instead, go with it. What can be an issue throughout the year is that you do not see all the possibilities that actually surround you. Things are much likely much better than you think, and you need to take a second look. Do not allow discontent or self-pity get in your way. Instead, make an effort to re-evaluate your life and relationships to uncover the overlooked possibilities that are there. The other piece of advice for the year is to continue concentrate on the spirituality and hidden magic in your daily life, to be here and now and attuned to your higher self. Like already mentioned, that is the basis of everything else, also of your material prosperity. That cannot be said enough times. It's easy to forget. The overall energy of the year for you is that you are okay, but at times you may feel like you're not. And if so, it's much likely because you fall out of alignment, momentarily forgetting who you are and losing your spiritual connection. So that is something you need to be aware of and work on. If you're focused on survival issues and worry a lot, you need to look at what you're actually doing and make a change. This could be an ongoing theme that becomes apparent now and then, and actually becoming aware of your patterns and changing them can lead to tremendous growth. You have it in you. You are a powerful soul. Do not forget that. Personal Year 7. The theme for Personal Year 7 is withdrawal. In a Personal Year 7, the energy turns inward. Outer momentum slows so that inner truth can emerge. This is a year of contemplation, of solitude, and spiritual inquiry. You may feel less interested in social activity and more drawn to silence, to study, or inner work. It's a testing year, not of endurance, but of faith. Certainties may dissolve so that a deeper understanding can take their place. The work of the year is to trust the inner process and allow insights to arise without forcing answers. Basically, you come into 2026 in good condition, when something you've been working on is about to start appearing or will very soon. You've used your will in the very best way as an extension of your higher mind and will, and you are strong enough to go inward as the 7th personal year asks of you without collapsing. You could be struggling with leaving something that is clearly over and done with behind, and as you're coming from a 6th personal year where this energy also colored the last 4 months, this could very well be the tail end of a closure in service of the 6th year harmony. If you find it hard to fully let go and still have work to do in that regard, remember that you are at the end of a cycle and that it's high time. Whatever the situation you're dealing with, you need to accept the inevitable and move on. The 7-year energy with its inward focus can help you. In the past, it seems as something has challenged your sense of trust and faith, but you should be recovered from that for the most part, or will continue to deal with it throughout the year. The first 4 months of 2026, efforts you have been making is beginning to pay off, giving you a glimpse of the power you have in creating a meaningful life in alignment with who you are. The second 4 months, May, June, July, and August, you will have to make it a priority to turn within, to access your inner wisdom and guidance. Never throughout this year is this more emphasized than during this time. If you do not know how to do it, learn, because your future success to a great deal hinges on it. The last 4 months time period, you may very well have come to a point where you are experiencing some kind of an awakening. An awakening is not something that is a one-time event, but a continuous, although it can happen in spurts. Throughout the year, life is providing you with what you need, and you're opening up to the magical forces and synchronicities that allows you to receive any aid that you need. You have rounded and you are rounding a critical bend and heading for something better, and the struggles you have are coming to an end. Circumstances throughout the year may call for you making some kind of decision, and if so, it is an important one about your future direction. Which way do you aspire to go? It may be a slight shift in the present, but down the line, the difference can be huge. You may doubt if you are safe or not, looking only at the external and material proofs, but that is not where your protection and security comes from. It emanates from your spiritual connection and your ability to hear and follow your higher guidance and live in alignment with your integrity. At the end of the year, you are at the turning point when things will move forward in a fortunate direction. Anything that is not working for you this year, look at how you are using your thoughts. Look at your thought processes and patterns and make an effort to change within, because that is the only thing stopping you from stepping fully into your soul's power and the life you're supposed to live. If this is difficult, seek help. And if there's trauma underneath it, there are beautiful energetic techniques to heal. Another advice throughout the year is to not let many options stop you from making decisions and focusing on a select few. If you would, things would remain nebulous and not materialize for you. The overall energy of the year is internal. There are things going on under the surface, around you and in you, that you can hardly discern unless you make an effort to listen with your soul's ears. Personal Year 8. The theme is manifestation. In a personal Year 8, power becomes visible. What has been learned internally now seeks expression in the material world. This is a year of authority, of achievement, and karmic consequence. Decisions carry weight, and integrity matters deeply. Spiritually, the 8th personal year asks you to use power cleanly. Success in this year is not just about results, but about alignment between inner truths and outer action. The invitation is to stand in your authority without losing your soul. You come into your 8th personal year ready to reap your rewards for a time of culmination, success, and fulfillment, depending to a huge part on how you used the year prior. However this plays out, do not assume that the ultimate goal is attained. The energy you are in represents a peak experience when you are about to move a step closer towards becoming who and what you are, but it is a step on the way towards your ultimate destination, not anything final. Luck may be with you, but you cannot depend on it. This is a year of effort and repeated such. But when you do put in the energy, what seems to be luck can be a factor in how things develop. There is a potential for happiness and contentment, but also a danger of overindulgence, so be aware. In the past, recent or more distant, there has been some kind of clash of beliefs, either internally or between you and someone or something else in your life. You could have been torn between doing what convention, others, and your surrounding wants for you, and what your heart and soul feels called to do. And hopefully you have chosen your own path despite opposition. The first 4 months of 2026 is about a recalibration. Things may be slow and seem like they are not going to work out, but they are. There may be delays and things to work out and around to get there. Do not let that get to you. Do not slip into victim mode. The remedy is a change of perspective. For some, it may be even a 180 that needs to take place. When old ideas, beliefs, and associations are let go of, it paves the way for a new momentum and the situation to change. The next 4 months, May, June, July, and August, it looks like you did what was asked of you priorly, because now you are entering a new experience in regards to what you've been working towards. It's not a change of course, it's a redirection in the way you were already heading. You're using your skills and abilities to create something useful, beautiful, and enduring. The last 4 months of 2026 finds you in a strong position. You have the ability to overcome every obstacle and fulfill your destiny. It's in your hands. 8, which is your personal year, asks for personal balance, and during this time, that is what you have the potential of attaining perfect balance between the spiritual and the physical. You listen to your intuition to call on your inner knowing so that you can create whatever it is that your soul wants in the physical. There's work to be done throughout the year, inner work to make room for outer accomplishments. You're looking at where you're limiting or stopping yourself from taking life to the next level and make your innermost dreams reality. In a couple of years, you will be starting over a new 9-year cycle, and some of the things you successfully do now will be the foundation for later achievements. There may be many options presenting itself to you throughout the year, and that can be confusing and difficult, not knowing which is the better for you. You need to make choices to narrow it down, otherwise, the energy and the momentum of the year can be wasted. Once you do make up your mind on what you should pour your efforts into, you will access a lot of innovative and creative energy to make use of it. Use your focus well. You may be hoping for a slow, steady, and predictable progress moving forward and be set on the material, physical reality, on your finances mostly. But during this year, that is not the way things may come about. Resources will show up when you work for them, but not by focusing on them directly, but instead what they should be used for. Do what you love, and the money will follow, so to speak. The outcome of the year will bring a turning point for you, partly connected to luck and destiny, which will move you forward in a fortunate direction. Avoid being overly naive throughout the year. Instead, be discerning and sensible. If something sounds too good to be true, it most likely is. For instance, any promise of making fast money without effort is probably not what it seems. This is a year of putting out the work consistently and therefore succeeding. Sharing is another part of this year, sharing your vision and your dreams with others to get them on board and supportive to the degree that is needed. The overall energy of the year highlights your intuition and how it is used in navigating your physical life. Personal year 9. The theme for personal year 9 is completion. A cycle will complete. It's a year of release, of forgiveness, and spiritual harvest. Emotionally, you may feel drawn to closure, endings of relationships, of roles, or identities that have run their course. Spiritually, the year teaches compassion and surrender. Nothing is meant to be carried forward unless it still holds life. The task of the year is to bless what is leaving, honor what has been lived, and prepare the ground for a new beginning. You come into the year with full speed, and it will be a year when your acquired experiences turn into wisdom and preparing you to teach, not necessarily in a formal way, that which you have learned. In the past, you've had some kind of heart chakra opening, either through a relationship or as a result of your spiritual pursuits. And the first 4 months of 2026, you will feel empowered and able to see clearer than ever. You're embracing your destiny and the fact that you have created it. If an opportunity comes at you during these months, consider it closely because it could be something that opens your life up to new vistas, even if it is a 9 personal year. It's not likely to be something long term, but more temporary, like for instance a travel, an experience, not something foundational. The middle part of the year, May, June, July, and August, your focus will be on something that educates you or refines your skills, either in a formal situation or by your own accord. You're looking for answers. You want to understand what is going on a deeper level of life. The last 4 months is about incorporating everything you've learned, not only from the 4 months prior or this year, but from the entire 9 year cycle or even beyond that. Your own approach throughout the year is level headed and grounded. You are moving in the right direction, sharing with others, and therefore life is providing you with what you need. You're opening up to the magical forces at work and rounding a critical bend. The world around you is going through a critical and difficult time, and that may impact you even though you are not a direct part of it. To the extent that it is affecting you, look within to see what it might be triggering. Not saying to be insensitive to others' suffering, but do not make it your own. You may be hoping for someone to come along and unburden you, but the assistance you get is probably not in the form you anticipate. The outcome of the year brings a definite sense of being heading in the right direction and a positive outlook on what's to come. The year is a time of making some kind of bookend of what you've learned and what you have that you can share with others, and it's very likely that you will go out and share it in some form or another, as hinted on before. Do not fret during the year if there are delays or obstacles in the way. This is not a year of being aggressive or fighting, rather to make the inner shifts necessary to change your outer reality, because that is what a shift of perspective and perception does. You will notice that once you get a new point of view, that which has been in the way melts away. As mentioned, this is a year to incorporate all that you've learned to pursue your path forward. You've overcome many difficulties, which now means that you're facing the future, knowing who you are and where you're going.